I'm Dustin, and this is week 10 of the Flex. Josh is having some technical issues, so you got me this week. And for this show, we pulled these questions right from the comments of the waiver wire show that I do early on in the week. So be sure, post some comments in that video if you want your question to have a chance to get answered on this show. We talk about the flex spot, who to start, always tough decisions every week. Let's go ahead and start with the first one from Trent Taggart. Golden Tate with his new home or Tevin Coleman for the flex spot? This one's kind of easy for me just because, I definitely understand why you're debating and why you're trying to see how much value you should give Tate right now. When you have an option like Tevin, I just don't see the reason to go. Don't overthink this one. Could Tate come in and have a decent game with his first game with his new team? Of course he could. He's still, it's a great offense. He should be a good fit there. I think he will have big games. But Tevin, he's getting he looked amazing last week. I just don't think there's any reason to overthink this one. Since you have a good option, take the wait and see approach on Tate and just see how he does with the first week. Next one comes from Pizza Man. We got Enunwa, Valdez-Scantling, or Ito Smith. This one is tough. Enunwa, I just don't really trust. The Bills' D is fairly decent, and they're going to have a backup quarterback in there. The over-under on that game is ridiculously low. I'm just throwing Enunwa out. So it's between Valdez and Ito Smith. This one's kind of tricky, but when I look at potential game scripts and how these games could go, I feel like Green Bay is probably going to be playing with a lead for once. It seems like we've been playing from behind a lot lately. And in the Falcons game, I think Smith is probably going to be playing with a lead going up against Cleveland. And Smith has been, finding the end zone a decent amount. I know Valdez is the hot pickup. He's the hot guy out there. With Allison officially out of the way, he is going to have value. But I just think Smith's a little bit safer. I think he has just as much, if not more, touchdown potential. And this is in a full-point PPR. And Smith catches passes as well. So I'm going Smith with this one. I think he's just a little bit safer, but they both have similar upsides this week, but I'm going Smith. Next one comes from Angelo L. Kind of a tricky one here. Sony Michel, Chubb, or Adrian Peterson. Need 2.5 PPR. So you're only benching one. And I think I'm just going to go right to the guy that I'm benching, because I'm excited about Chubb with the touches that he's going to get each week. And with Sony Michel, you got to be excited about the touchdown potential. So the person I'm benching is Adrian Peterson. It's just kind of been a roller coaster. Has he looked great? Has he been, exceeding expectations? Yes, he has been good. We've been, all of his owners are very pleased with what he's doing based on what they invested in him in draft day or if they just picked him up. But with what he did last week, 9 carries for 17 yards, that can always happen. And with the Redskins, it's just, I just, in general, with the Redskins, it's so hard to predict what you're going to get out of them. I'm going with the youngsters here. I like their upsides a little bit more. I just think, overall, I think they're the safer plays. The last question we got comes from Clay Andrews. Flex question in a PPR. A lot of options here. Tarik Cohen, Kerryon Johnson, Kenny Galladay, Sammy Watkins, or Golden Tate. So let's cross off a couple people and just narrow this down a little bit. Sammy Watkins, I don't think he's going to play this week. Even if he does, I think he will be limited, so I'm crossing him off. Golden Tate, same reasons as I said before. If you have other solid options, just take the wait and see approach. Just see how it goes. If you have solid options, I just don't see the reason to take the gamble. So the rest are the 2 Detroit guys, Johnson and Galladay, and then Cohen. These 2 teams are playing each other. But Detroit, it's at Chicago. And while, I'm not completely shying away from anyone playing against Chicago. That defense is amazing, but it's still, they can still get scored on. They can still get some points put up on them. And I know Cohen had a rough week last week, but don't forget, their defense won them that game. It was a blowout. There was no chance. I think Detroit could at least hang I think Detroit can hang with Chicago. I think they can keep it as a close game. I think it keeps Cohen more relevant, and he was on such a tear before last week, so I understand, trying to figure out whether you're going to bench him or not this week. But in a PPR, I like Cohen. I think he has a high floor, and I do think last week was just more about just the defensive touchdowns that just gave them the lead, kept the offense off the field. You know, I think the Bears offense has looked a lot better as of late, and you know, compared to how they looked at the beginning of the year. Cohen's been involved consistently as of late, except for last week, just because, again, defensive touchdowns. I'm going Cohen here. I like him in your flex. I think he has as high a floor as anyone and just as high a ceiling. I like him out of all of these options, but some solid options. So again, got some questions, post them in my waiver wire. If you got questions for this week, post them in this video or any of our videos. We try to get to as many as we can, and good luck week 10.